Good morning, everyone. Did you survive the rain? I'm sure you survived the rain because you survived yesterday. First of all, as I call it, BioAg World Congress, an event by the industry for the industry. On that note, let's start the day today. We are starting 45 minutes late again, but this time I will try to make up because I have with me Dr. Venkatesh, who is chairing the session number 1, and he's going to save me 10 minutes of my time in this session. Dr. Venkatesh, his business is based in India. He has devoted his life to agriculture, and more so from 2000 onwards, he has dedicated his life totally to bio. And the reason I always keep mentioning those people who started the bio support and practicing bioagriculture to support sustainable agriculture when no one was really buying it. So a lot of kudos to those people, like I mentioned Pam yesterday, who started so early in the bio and brought this industry to this level. On that note, let us welcome Dr. Venkatesh to chair this session, where we are going to talk about soil and seed health and how BioAg can support it. Dr. Venkatesh.
Good morning, gentle ladies and gentlemen. Reason gentle lady. Why only men have to be gentle? So we say gentle ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be chairing this session number 1 on soil and seed health. I just set the theme for the presentation. My name is Venkatesh. I represent a company called Agri-Life. I'm also co-founder and secretary of our industry association called BioAg Inputs Producers Association, BIPA. I welcome all of you to avail our hospitality in India during our next conference in India also. We are now dedicating about 2 hours session, and one second, with the next slide. I'll go here. I just, looking back about agriculture, we say regenerative agriculture, but improve the soil, how to use better seed health, plant health. We always have to go back. We were hunters and gatherers. We're animals. We evolved into human beings with a lot of civilization. So who is the first disruptor of nature? The human being is the first disruptor of nature. Today we say conservation, all stories, but we were the first one to disrupt the nature. Then with land colonized over thousands of years ago, the human greed started getting in. Me, my tribe, my family, my animal, and my physical resources. This how society started or getting organized, tribes got formed, and within some geographical limitations. Selfish exploitation of soil, water, plants, animals, minerals, metals, and all resources, exploitation, human beings started. Thus, human being is the first disruptor of our whole nature. What are the territories, borders, geopolitical essence of our history? Villages and communities got formed over a period of time. Land as a resource became important. And few people in the land mass of an area, they started becoming owners. They are kings, emperors, empires were built. Thus tribal settlements ruling a controlling family of land mass, states, nationalities formed over a period of time. Integrated farming systems developed with people, cattle, horses, goats, sheep, hens, fishes, dogs, pets. That's how the integrated farming started. Ruling class who owned the land wanted more income, more money. So taxation started. Then whoever owns the land, tills the land, has to pay some taxes. Thus, the land tax paying farmer, emerging concept about 1,000 years ago, started thinking how to get more and more and more from fewer resources. The theory of economic utilization started. Making border to farms, fencing a village, this concept started, and that's how we say the modern agriculture started, from hunter-gatherer to this. Modern agriculture is 1,000 years ago, and they started identifying good seeds, storing them, multiplying them. That's how the concept of seed health started maybe 25, 30,000 years ago. Irrigation methods evolved, and very strict societal monitoring was there on using water resources. Integrated farming system evolved for each ecosystem. Each ecosystem, agroclimatic condition, evolved its own system. Farm with man, cattle, sheep, goat, animals, and then slaves, workers started. And this continued for millennia. Imagine it took millennium in the history to reach 1 billion population. It just remained less than 1 billion for millennia. It just took 200 years to reach 7 billion. 1 billion became 7 billion in just 200 years of time. You can imagine the pressure on nature. Global population for modern life remained for about 3 billion for a long time, and after First World War, 3 billion became 7 plus billion in the last 70 years. The demand for resources increased enormously in the last 100 years. Soil and water became more intensive. With every 1 billion population added, exploitation of soil and water became more intensive. Urbanization started in last century. Land to grow food started shrinking, except in Brazil, parts of Africa, you still have land expansion. Mechanization became more intensive. Market for selected crops, maize, soy, rice, wheat, fruits. This then, breeding practices became more market-oriented. Therefore, yield, money became the only focus of the breeders. Chemistry gave us good molecules, best pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, fungicides. Today we are able to grow food for 7 billion people. We will be able to grow for 9 billion people also, I'm sure about it. But then, as we did the big progress, we had certain hiccups. Monoculture, abuse of chemical pesticides, overuse of pesticides and fertilizers, heavy farm machinery with focused traits of breeding, GM technology all started. Agriculture production increased many, many times. Hunger is today well addressed. You rarely find anybody dying out of hunger. So, we acknowledge that contribution by industry, scientists, bureaucrats, everybody. Green revolution increased production of food multiple times thanks to modern chemistry. But while we keep the journey on, in many parts of the world, soil organic matter, SOM, reduced considerably. As a result, soil organic carbon reduced correspondingly. Soil ecosystem became hostile to carbon and to beneficial microorganisms. Soil is becoming bankrupt in many parts of the world. UNO declared International Year of Soil 5 years ago and cautioned us, if we do not improve soil health, soil will become bankrupt in 60 years of time. You have seen a yogi, a monk here called Sadhguru Vasudev. He's now traveling in Europe 30,000 kilometers. He's a 67-year-old man driving a 1,000cc motorbike from London to India, 30,000 kilometers in 100 days, just for one slogan, save soil. Save soil is the only slogan this yogi is doing. So we need to look at how we increase soil, how we increase organoleptic properties, how we improve nutritional effect, And thus we have a situation, soil health is at stake. As we said, soil microorganisms find it an inadequate ecosystem, and we have changed so much of agriculture. 4,000 liter water required to produce 1 kilo rice. India took pride last year. We were the largest exporter of rice. I said, come on, we are the largest exporter of free water. 4,000 kilograms of rice, of water to make 1 kilo rice. Climate change is a continuous phenomenon. Thousands of years ago, a great river called Saraswati vanished. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro civilization, what you see now, is called, buried in the sand, was because the water stopped going there. Vietnam farmers were normally using power to pump out the water to grow rice. Last few years, they're pumping in the water. Energy is used to pump in the water. So much of climate change is happening, and we'd like to address our eminent panels today. So we'll continue with our session with very eminent speakers and our co-chair. We have Kevin Ashford, sorry for mispronunciation. Kevin represents NPP, a great new mainstream UPL companies, $5-6 billion companies, biological division, NPP. And Kevin he's the lead of the soil health, and I invite him to come over and take over the next 5 speakers' presentations. Thank you very much to you.
And there, I thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. You have saved already 3 minutes of time also. Thank you.
Yes?
Thank you. We have started late, so it's, I think, my request to all panelists to reduce 1 minute, 2 minutes like this. It will be helpful. Now,
any questions?
I'll come to that. Now, we have few minutes of time. I request any questions from the audience to be addressed to Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much. It was a nice presentation. Now, I invite Kim Nicholson to come and take over the proceedings of the next 4 speakers. Kim Nicholson is Vice President, Agricultural Technologies and Innovation, and she is from the company called Mosaic Company. Thank you very much, Kim.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for your time and attention, and I think we turn it back over to our esteemed chair. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim, for conducting this panel discussion as a lead. We have had wonderful interactions, and we look forward for more question and answers over tea, over lunch. Thank you very much for the panel for their distinguished presentations. Thank you very much. Now I invite Maria Teresa for a paper presentation. And I think we have an online voting for the best paper. You can get prepared. I welcome Maria Teresa. She is up here. Thank you.
I think I ran out of time.
Yep. You're right.
So, thank you so much for your attention. If you have more questions, I'm here all day, so we'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Anna, for keeping up the time. A wonderful presentation on decomposition. The next presenter, Professor Christina, but she is not present here. In her place, Mr. Khalid Agdi, the CEO of Tricodex, will make the presentation. You have 10 minutes of presentation time, sir, Mr. Khalid. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor Christina, for this wonderful presentation on beneficial microbes and how it can help the plant health. I request all of you to get. Now the session is open for. I'm sorry. Now we have some time for questions and answers. I request the audience to come out with your questions so that we have some time before closing few minutes.
Much.
Thank you, Mr. Khalid. From the audience, may I expect any questions over here? Meanwhile, I request a gentleman from Comco. Roger, is anybody coming from Comco? Roger? Anybody coming from Comco? We'll play a video. Okay, we have a small video from Compo Expert, and I'll wrap up the discussion of this session after the video. Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you very much for your time and the video. We have the next, immediately we request you to do voting of the 4 papers you had now. There's a Hopin app. You are requested to do the voting for the best paper presentation. And from Comco Expert, we are here. The CEO, he's also here to answer any of your questions from the audience. Thank you. As you keep voting, I just would like to wrap up our session 1. We started a bit late, but then we had Kevin from NPP. Wonderfully, he explained, we are addressing the symptoms all these years. We must look at how to address the causes. The practices for regenerative agriculture were discussed by Kevin. Then we had Kim, the panel lead from the Mosaic, a 100-year-old company, a Fortune 500 company, how a mainstream company is coming and focusing on how to improve the soil health. Then we had Panos, some specialty fertilizer company. They would like to become an important organization to supply organic farming inputs. Welcome to this activity. And then they're also looking at digital transformation to increase nutrient efficiency and how to be carbon neutral. Then we had Mr. Mahmoodi from OCP. OCP, as you know, is the custodian of 70% of the global phosphorus deposits. And you know phosphorus is a dying resource, and is happy to note such a large company looking at sustainable roadmap and investing in partnerships with many other companies to improve the nutrient use efficiency. We have Mr. Hamidi from Fatinagro, from plant nutrition products and plant biostimulants. It was wonderful to note that he expressed one nice number. 1,900 kilograms of microbes are in 1 hectare of land. A very, very fantastic quantification. I was not aware of this. Then we had Mauro from Alltech, a 40-year-old company. Transformation from animal nutrition to crop science, and working with plants and not working against them. Then we had 4 papers, and then I request the audience basically to do the voting. And I just want to add one last sentence. The new business we are doing, biologicals, imagine 102 years ago, 100 years ago, US Patent Office granted patent for rhizobium, and the brand name was nitrogen. So our business is that old. In between, we lost it. We're rediscovering now. And after voting, we have a coffee break. Yes. And I thank Comco for the coffee break, and over to Roja.